Because more shark sightings on the south shore of Long Island are prompting officials to keep a close eye on the water.
They are not natural to this region. You know, we have other kind of sharks, bunker sharks that come up here. These are actually more of a Caribbean shark, and we don't know the last time we've seen a sighting up here of this sort of shark. There is some speculation it could be based on the hurricane season kicking up and the waters pushing up.
So increased shark patrols underway throughout Nassau County, where the sharks have been roaming the waters. Nassau County Executive Curran joining us this morning to talk about what is being done to keep people safe. Good morning to you, County Executive Curran. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good to be back.
So, Ms. Curran, let's first talk about, we just heard from the town supervisor there of Hempstead that the sharks that we're seeing are not the ones we're used to, right? They're the black tip reef sharks that are typically more aggressive that we're actually seeing right now than the bull sharks. So what's going on here? Why are we seeing them?
Yeah, we've actually also seen sand sharks and thresher sharks, which can be quite large, you know, up to 10 feet or more sometimes. So the water is warmer. That's one thing. So that attracts the bunker fish, the bluefish, which these guys like to eat. And it's cleaner, which is a good thing. So it is attracting more of these creatures. And we have enhanced patrols. Our Marine Bureau from the police department, the Aviation Bureau up in the helicopters, just keeping an eye on things. And then if they see something suspicious, they'll let the lifeguards know. So when you hear that whistle, definitely listen. And we're also asking people, you know, if you have jewelry, might not be a good idea to wear it in the water because it can look like glinting scales on a fish.
Oh, that's a really good point. You know, to your point also, the town of Hempstead has its own shark patrol. So what does that consist of? How often do they go out? And, you know, how cautious should beachgoers be? I mean, should they be worried about getting in the water?
So I love to swim in the ocean. It's fun to go way out. And I'm not talking about this to freak people out, but just to be mindful. Last year, we had about 20 shark sightings, which is way more than we normally have. Started around late July. So here we are late July. We had a few sightings last week. We've already had a few sightings this week. We're just asking people to take extra precautions and listen to the lifeguards. It's also, you know, if this is something that concerns you, it might not be good to go swimming alone at dawn or dusk, because that's prime feeding time. And remember, you know, we share this beautiful island and this beautiful water with other creatures. So when we go into the water, we're entering their home.
It's so interesting, Ms. Curran, because, you know, think about what we were talking about. Like pretty much a year ago, you and I were having a conversation about whether or not people from Manhattan should be coming to the shores of Long Island to go swimming. Here you have a bunch of people flocking to the beaches, and we're talking about sharks. That is one thing, okay? And I'm glad we actually were talking about being safe in the waters. But I want to shift gears right now to also talk to you, while we have you, about what's happening in the terms of COVID and the new Delta variant as well, how this is impacting Nassau County moving forward and where you are in the vaccination front.
You know, we are seeing our numbers go up. We were at 0.3% positivity. We're now up to about 2.6% positivity. The Delta variant is very contagious, as we know. In Nassau County, we have a very high vaccination rate. We're actually #1 in terms of our vaccination rate for folks 18 and older. More than 81% of people 18 and older are vaccinated. About 97% of folks 65 and older are vaccinated, and that's the most vulnerable group. But we are seeing some breakthrough cases. That means people who have had the vaccine can get the virus. They're much less likely to get it. I joke that it's kind of like birth control. Nothing is 100% effective, but it's true. And if you do get it, if you're one of that small percentage that does get it if you're vaccinated, you're much less likely to wind up in the hospital and to get very sick from this.
Yeah, you definitely got to make sure you get vaccinated. So you're working with, what, Northwell Health to get more young people vaccinated? Tell us about that push.
That's right. So we're in day 3 of a 5-day push, working with Northwell at Kennedy Park in the village of Hempstead. For student vaccination days. We're getting a lot of walk-in appointments, which is great. And I want to let everyone know it's not just for students. If you're an adult and you've been on the fence and you're ready to get it, go get that vaccine. You can do it. You can do it up through Saturday.
So important to know. And there's a lot of conversation right now, County Executive, about masks, right? And whether or not people should be wearing them again. Where do you fall in terms of, I guess, the new CDC guidelines and the substantial to high number of cases? Should people be wearing masks indoor again, vaccinated or not, and specifically in schools moving forward to September?
So the CDC guidelines recommend masking indoors, and I'm asking everyone to take a personal risk assessment. If you are vulnerable, you feel vulnerable, you have a compromised immune system, you live with a child who's not old enough to be vaccinated, who has respiratory issues, whatever it may be, make that personal risk assessment for yourself and take the precautions. We know what works. And as Dan, as to your question about schools, you know, I've been saying for months that I really believe school districts, and we have 56 independent school districts here in Nassau County, they are really best equipped to make the best decision for their communities. And I think parents are as well, in consultation with their healthcare professionals.
All right, County Executive Laura Curran, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
And now we know you also like to swim deep into the ocean. I'm not an ocean swimmer.
Minus the sharks,
Yeah,
of course.
there we go.
All right.